When I reached my apartment door, I didn't expect anything except silence. I pushed it open, stepped inside, and called out, "Lena? I'm home early." My voice echoed back at me. I set my bag down, rubbed my eyes, and walked toward the bedroom. That's when I heard it, Lena's laugh, soft and familiar, mixing with another voice I knew even better. "Adrian." My chest tightened. I froze outside the door, trying to make sense of the sound. "No, that can't be him," I whispered. But the laughter came again, and this time it had a tone I had never heard from her before, playful, almost intimate. My hand trembled as I reached for the doorknob. "Lena?" I said, my voice barely holding together. The laughter stopped. I heard shuffling. A whisper. A gasp. Then silence. I pushed the door open and everything inside me shattered at once. Clothes were scattered across the bed. Lena sat upright, pulling the blanket against her chest. Adrian stood beside the bed, shirtless, his face pale. My stomach dropped so hard I thought I would collapse right there. Lena breathed out, wait, this isn't?" "Don't," I said, my voice cracking. My eyes burned, but not from tears, yet. "Just don't." Adrian raised his hands. "Bro, listen, this just..." "Don't call me that," I snapped. "Not now. Not ever." Lena reached toward me. "Please let me explain." "Explain?" I laughed, but it sounded like someone else speaking through me. "Explain what, Lena? The clothes on the floor? Him in our bedroom?" Her lips trembled. "It wasn't planned. I swear. I made a mistake. A stupid, horrible mistake." I stared at her, feeling my heartbeat pounding in my ears. "How long?" I asked. She shut her eyes, shaking her head. "It wasn't." "How long?" I repeated, louder, harsher. Adrian muttered, "A few weeks." My legs almost gave out. "Weeks?" I whispered. "Weeks?" Lena covered her face. "I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you." "You didn't know how to tell me you were sleeping with my best friend?" My voice broke again. "You two were just going to pretend nothing was happening?" Adrian stepped closer. "Man, listen. I swear I didn't want to hurt you." "Hurt me?" I took a step back. "You destroyed me." He looked down. "It just happened." "It just happened," I repeated slowly. "Like slipping on ice? Like forgetting your keys?" I pointed at both of them. "You don't fall into someone's bed by accident." Lena sobbed. "I still love you." "No," I said. "No, you don't. You don't do this to someone you love." She reached for me again. "Please don't walk away. We can fix this." "There's nothing left to fix," I said, shaking my head. "Nothing." Adrian whispered, "I'm sorry." I stared at him. The boy I grew up with. The friend who knew everything about me. The man who stabbed me deeper than any stranger ever could. "You ruined the one thing I trusted," I said. "Both of you." Lena cried harder. "Please, don't leave me." I stepped back from her hand. "I came home early because I wanted to surprise you, Lena. I wanted us to have dinner, to talk about our wedding plans." My throat tightened painfully. "But I guess you had other plans." She whispered my name, but it felt empty. I turned away. The walls felt like they were closing in. My heart felt like it was tearing apart piece by piece. I grabbed the door handle, trying to breathe, trying not to collapse. "Where are you going?" Lena cried. "Away," I said. "From you. From him. From this." Adrian whispered, "Please?" "No," I cut him off. "You made your choice. Now live with it." I stepped out of the room, out of the apartment, and down the hallway, each breath heavier than the last. My world had broken in one single moment. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what would happen next. When I walked out of the building, the cold air hit my face so hard it almost felt like a slap. I didn't grab a jacket. I didn't take my wallet. All I had were my keys and my phone in my shaking hands. My mind kept replaying the scene over and over. The blanket, their faces, the sound of Lena's voice saying my name like she cared when she clearly didn't. I muttered to myself, "Why? Why them? Why tonight?" My steps felt heavy as I wandered aimlessly down the street. Every cafe we'd visited, every shop we passed weeks ago, every stupid memory showed up in my mind like a torment. My phone buzzed. I looked at the screen. "Lena." I let it ring until it stopped. I whispered, "I can't hear you right now. I'll break if I do." My thoughts were so loud it felt like I was drowning inside my own head. I didn't even realize where my feet were taking me until I saw Maya's apartment building. I stared up at it and exhaled shakily. "I don't want to tell her," I whispered. "I don't want to say it out loud." But I also knew I had nowhere else to go. I called her. She picked up instantly. Ethan? It's late. Are you okay? My throat tightened. No. I'm outside your building. What? Stay there, I'm coming down. Within a minute she appeared at the door, her face filled with worry. What happened? The word stuck. I can't talk out here. Please. She nodded and grabbed my arm gently, guiding me inside. Once we reached her living room, she said softly, sit. Just breathe. I sank onto the couch, my hands covering my face. Maya. Something happened. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Tell me. I walked in on Lena, I said, my voice shaking. With Adrian. She froze. Adrian? You're Adrian? Yes, I whispered. My best friend. The guy I trusted more than anyone. Maya's eyes filled with anger so fast it almost scared me. That disgusting, how could they? Ethan, oh my God. I let out a broken laugh. I still can't believe it. It feels like it didn't really happen. Like I'm going to wake up. She sat beside me. You don't deserve this. You hear me? You don't deserve an ounce of this pain. I feel stupid, I said. Like everything I built meant nothing. Like I didn't see something obvious. You're not stupid, she said firmly. They're cruel. My voice cracked. I keep thinking I should call him. Or her. Ask them why. Ask them what I did wrong. No, she whispered. Don't give them more of you. I stared at the floor. I don't even know who I am right now. You're my brother, she said. And you're someone who loved the wrong people. That's all. Her words hit something deep inside me. I felt my eyes burn again. Maya. I can't go home tonight. Then don't, she said. Stay here. Stay as long as you need. I nodded slowly. Thanks. You don't have to thank me. I'm just sorry you're hurting like this. I leaned back on the couch, exhaling as if my lungs didn't want to work anymore. My whole life changed in one moment. Everything I thought I knew, gone. Maya placed a blanket over me. Sleep. Tomorrow can wait. As I closed my eyes, the only thing I felt was the emptiness inside me, an emptiness shaped exactly like betrayal. All I knew was this. Tonight was the end of who I used to be, and the beginning of someone I had never met before. I sat alone at the cafe table, staring at the small velvet box in my hand. My fingers wouldn't stop shaking. I kept whispering to myself, just breathe. Don't fall apart here. When the door opened, I looked up and saw Lena. She walked toward me slowly, her eyes red, her steps unsure. Ethan. Thank you for meeting me, she said softly. I exhaled. Sit. She sat across from me, looking everywhere except into my eyes. I placed the ring box on the table between us. Her breath caught. Don't, she whispered. Please, don't do this. I have to, I said. This doesn't mean anything anymore. Tears immediately filled her eyes. I made a mistake. I know I did. I wasn't thinking right. I messed everything up. You didn't just mess up, I said quietly. You destroyed us. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it back. Her voice broke. Ethan, please. I swear it didn't mean anything. I was confused. Adrian said things that. Don't say his name, I snapped before I could stop myself. Just don't. She covered her mouth, crying. I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. I stared at the ring, the one I bought after saving for months. Do you know what hurts the most? I asked. She shook her head, trembling. I loved you, I said, my voice raw. I loved you enough to build a future with you. But you killed that love the moment you let him touch you. Ethan, please, she begged. We can fix this. I'll cut him off. I'll do anything. I can't lose you. I can't. You already did. I pushed the ring box toward her. This was supposed to be our promise. But promises mean nothing without loyalty. She sobbed harder. Don't walk away. Please don't leave me like this. I didn't leave, I said. You did. The moment you chose him. She grabbed my wrist desperately. I swear I'll change. I'll prove it to you. I gently pulled my hand free. I don't want proof. I want peace. Her shoulders collapsed as she cried into her hands. I stood up slowly. Goodbye, Lena. Ethan, she cried after me. Please, don't do this. I love you. I didn't look back. Because if I did, I knew I'd break again. Outside, the wind felt even colder than yesterday. I walked until I found myself in the small park a few blocks away. I sat on a bench, staring at the ground. I whispered, why wasn't I enough? What did I do wrong? But there was no answer. Only the soft rustling of leaves. My phone buzzed. It was Maya. Where are you? She asked. A park, I said. Just thinking. Are you okay? No, I whispered. Do you want me to come? She asked gently. I shook my head even though she couldn't see it. Just talk to me. Listen, she said, you're stronger than you think. You're hurting, but this pain won't shape the rest of your life unless you let it. I don't feel strong. You don't have to feel it yet, she said. I'll help you. We'll rebuild your life piece by piece. You won't be alone. A small spark flickered inside me, faint but real. Thanks, Maya, I said, for not giving up on me. I never will, she replied. As I leaned back on the bench, I closed my eyes. For the first time since everything shattered, I felt a tiny bit of light pushing through the darkness. At work, I felt the weight of everything pressing down on me, but I tried to keep my face straight. When my boss waved me over and said, I want you to meet someone, I forced a polite nod. Then he introduced me to Mr. Grant, a man with silver-streaked hair and the kind of presence that filled the room without trying. He shook my hand firmly and said, You're the one I'll be working with this quarter, right? Yeah, I replied, trying to sound normal. His eyes narrowed slightly. You look exhausted. Everything all right? I'm fine, I lied. No, you're not, he said quietly. But we'll come back to that. We stepped into the conference room and he began explaining leadership models, project mapping, and communication patterns. But his voice wasn't what caught me, it was the way he spoke, like the things he was teaching weren't just about work. Leadership starts with clarity, he said. If you can't steady your own mind, you'll struggle to steady anyone else. I swallowed hard. That obvious? He gave a small smile. Only to someone who's been where you are. Those words hit deeper than I expected. I tried to focus on the training, but my thoughts kept drifting back to Lena and Adrian. Every instruction he gave seemed to echo my personal disaster. When he asked me a question about decision-making under pressure, I paused too long. He tilted his head. You hesitate because you fear choosing wrong, he said. But no choice is worse than a painful one. During lunch, I walked to the cafeteria with him. The place buzzed with chatter, and as we sat down, I heard two coworkers whisper loudly behind me. Did you see Adrian's story last night? Yeah, he posted a picture with Lena, again. My jaw tightened instantly. I stared at my untouched food, feeling the old wound rip open. Mr. Grant watched me for a moment before saying, You want to say something? No, I muttered. It's nothing. It's not nothing, he said. But you can decide how much power you give it. I let out a shaky breath. I just don't understand why someone who claimed to love me could do something like that. He folded his hands on the table. People betray for reasons that rarely have anything to do with the person they betray. I frowned. Then why does it still feel like it's my fault? Because pain personalizes everything, he replied. But not every wound is a reflection of your worth. I stared at him, stunned by how calmly he dissected the chaos inside me. You talk like you get it? He nodded once. I've lost things too. Something in his tone made me straighten. It wasn't pity, it was recognition. That alone made me feel less alone than I had in days. When we returned to the office, he handed me a small notebook. Start writing your decisions in here, he said. Big or small. Clarity comes from seeing yourself honestly. I ran my thumb over the cover. You really think that'll help? I know it will, he answered. Pain can break you or build you. Choose wisely. Those words settled into me like a slow-burning fire. Even hours later, as I sat at my desk pretending to work, they kept replaying in my mind. Pain can build you. Maybe, just maybe, I wasn't doomed to stay broken. When he passed by my desk at the end of the day, he said, Tomorrow you start fresh. I felt a quiet spark inside me, small but real, and I held on to that hope. The morning air smelled like coffee and determination as I walked into the office. Mr. Grant was waiting, arms crossed, his eyes sharp as ever. Ethan, he said, today we push harder. Are you ready? I think so, I muttered, unsure if my voice sounded steady. You think? He raised an eyebrow. I don't want thinking. I want action. Yes, sir, I said, forcing my shoulders back. The first hour was brutal. He made me run scenarios, handle impossible deadlines, speak to imaginary teams, and lead projects that weren't even mine. I stumbled, tripped over words, and felt sweat sting my eyes. But something inside me stirred. For the first time since Lena, I wasn't thinking about betrayal or Adrian or the empty apartment. I was thinking only about what I could do right now. During a break, Chloe approached me quietly. Mind if I give you a tip? She asked, her soft voice cutting through the chaos. Sure, I said, wiping my forehead. Eye contact, she said. Even with someone intimidating, even when your words feel wrong, Your eyes tell confidence. I nodded. Okay, I'll try. She smiled faintly, and for a second, her calm steadied me. I repeated phrases aloud, watched her, and felt a small part of my old self return. I almost laughed at how much difference it made, but I swallowed it down. Later, during lunch, my phone buzzed. I didn't want to look, but curiosity burned. Adrian. He had posted pictures. Lena smiling next to him, both dressed for some gala. The sight made my stomach twist. I wanted to throw the phone. I wanted to scream. But I didn't. I whispered under my breath, "They think this breaks me, they're wrong." Mr. Grant passed by my table. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Nothing," I said, tightening my grip on the edge of the table. He leaned slightly, his voice low. "Pain can break you, Ethan. Or it can build you. Your choice." I looked at him and felt something ignite. I didn't say anything, but my jaw clenched, my hands stopped shaking, and a spark of fire flared inside me. The afternoon was another round of drills, presentations, and exercises. Chloe corrected me, Mr. Grant pushed me, and I kept going. With every mistake, every correction, every repetition, the hurt inside me transformed, sharpened, into focus. I remembered Lena's voice, Adrian's smirk, the apartment filled with betrayal. But I let it fuel me, not crush me. That night, when I finally sat alone in my apartment, I held the little notebook Mr. Grant had given me. I wrote my thoughts, my plans, my promises. I paused and whispered to myself, "I will rise. I will grow. I will make them regret ever thinking they could break me." For the first time since everything fell apart, I felt purpose. Not anger alone, not despair, but purpose burning quietly under my chest. And that purpose would not be ignored. Months passed and the change in me was undeniable. Each morning I walked into the office with a little more confidence, a little less doubt. Mr. Grant's eyes caught mine as I entered. "Good morning, Ethan. Ready for today?" "Always," I said, though my voice still trembled slightly. He smirked. "Good. Today you lead the project presentation. Alone." My stomach twisted. "Alone? You mean I'm standing in front of the entire team?" "Yes. You've practiced. You're ready. Don't make excuses." I nodded, swallowing hard. My hands felt clammy, but I focused. For weeks I had trained for this. I would not falter. During the presentation, I felt my pulse hammer in my ears, but I remembered Chloe's advice. Eyes tell confidence. I looked at each face in the room, grounding myself. "Our team's goal is simple," I said, "to streamline operations while maintaining quality. Here's how we'll do it." Questions came fast, but I answered them with calm precision. Nathan, a senior colleague, nodded in approval. "Impressive, Ethan. You've grown." I barely whispered, "Thanks," but a small smile tugged at my lips. After the meeting, Nathan approached me. "You're doing great. If you ever need guidance, I've got your back." I blinked. Thank you. That means a lot." "You're rising fast," he said with a grin. "Keep it up." Later, Chloe joined me in the break room. "You were amazing today," she said softly. "I could see the fire in you." "I don't feel amazing," I admitted. I can't fail anymore." "I won't." Her gaze softened. "That's why you're growing. Pain forged you." I laughed quietly. Funny how it works. But the thought of Lena and Adrian never fully left me. One evening, I scrolled through my phone and saw new posts. Lena laughing, dressed in designer clothes, Adrian beaming beside her. My chest tightened, but instead of despair, a determination I hadn't felt before filled me. I whispered to myself, "You'll never have the power over me again." Mr. Grant noticed my expression. "Thoughts of the past?" "Yes," I said. "But it doesn't hurt the same way." "Good. Let it sharpen you, not break you," he said. "That's the difference between a man who survives and one who thrives." Each day my skills grew. I learned to negotiate, to lead, to think strategically. Every small victory built on the last. Chloe helped me with presentations, confidence, and the subtle art of communication. I found myself speaking with authority, even in tense moments. At night, when the office lights dimmed and the city outside quieted, I'd sit at my desk alone, reflecting. "I've come a long way," I whispered. "But I'm not done. This is only the beginning." I remembered the apartment, the betrayal, the emptiness. And I felt my heart harden, not with anger but with purpose. Every memory fueled my ambition. When Mr. Grant stopped by my desk one evening, he nodded. "You've changed, Ethan. I see it. Confidence, skill, focus. This is the man you were meant to be." I smiled faintly, feeling the truth in his words. "I'm just getting started," I said. He grinned. "Good. Keep that fire alive. Nothing can stop you now. For the first time in months, I felt something I hadn't in a long time: control. My life was no longer dictated by pain or betrayal. It was mine, and I was finally ready to rise fully. The morning felt heavier than usual. I walked into the office and noticed a familiar figure standing near the entrance. Adrian. My chest tightened instantly. I wanted to look away to avoid confrontation, but Mr. Grant's words echoed, "Face challenges, don't run from them." He spotted me and smirked. "Ethan," he said, his tone mocking. "Looks like life's treating you well." I clenched my fists under my desk. "I'm doing fine," I said calmly, forcing my voice to steady. Chloe, standing beside me, gave a reassuring nod. I could feel her silent support, and it helped. Adrian stepped closer. "Funny, isn't it? You thought you could move on, but here I am." "And Lena? She's happy. Is that what you want?" I asked quietly, meeting his gaze. "To make me angry?" He shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm just reminding you that you lost." "I didn't lose," I said firmly. "You lost yourself in your arrogance. That's all." He laughed, a sharp, empty sound. "Look at you pretending you're unshaken. I always knew you'd be weak without her." I shook my head. "You're wrong. Every mistake you made taught me something. Every betrayal made me stronger. And for the first time, I feel in control of my life. Something you'll never understand." His smirk faltered for a fraction of a second, but he hit it quickly. "We'll see, Ethan. Life has a funny way of humbling people." "I've learned already," I said, my voice steady and cold. "Humiliation won't come from anyone anymore. Especially not from you." He glared at me, his ego bruised, and finally muttered, "Enjoy your moment while it lasts." He walked away, leaving a silence in his wake. I exhaled, my chest heavy but lighter than before. Chloe stepped closer. "You handled that well," she said softly. "I did what I had to," I admitted. "It was like a test, and I passed." Mr. Grant appeared behind me, placing a hand on my shoulder. "Good. That's the Ethan I've been teaching. Calm under pressure, focused, in control. You're not just surviving anymore, you're leading your life." I nodded, feeling a warmth of accomplishment I hadn't felt in months. "It's not just me," I said. "It's the training, the guidance, and realizing I won't let the past define me." Later that evening, as I walked through the quiet streets, I thought about Lena. Memories flashed, her smile, the apartment, the betrayal. I clenched my fists but felt no anger, only clarity. I had changed. I had grown. And I knew what I needed to do next. "I won't forget," I whispered to myself. "But I won't be broken either. I'll rise above, and when the time comes, they'll understand what they lost." I stopped by a bench, looking at the city lights shimmering in the distance. For the first time, I felt ready, not just to survive but to thrive. To reclaim my life, my future, and my dignity. The fire inside me burned brighter than ever, and I knew nothing could extinguish it. This was my moment, and I would seize it. Weeks passed and I felt unstoppable. Every morning, I walked into the office with purpose. Projects that used to intimidate me now felt like challenges I was eager to conquer. Mr. Grant noticed the difference. "Ethan," he said one morning, "your growth is undeniable. Today you lead the client pitch. Alone." I straightened my shoulders. "I'm ready." He gave me a rare smile. "Good. Show them what you're made of." The client meeting began tense. I presented our ideas with confidence, answering questions with precision. Nathan, my mentor, whispered, "You're commanding the room. Keep going." During the pitch, I noticed Adrian's name pop up on my phone, another post flaunting Lena's life with him. My fingers itched to swipe, to check, to feel the old sting, but I didn't. I took a deep breath and reminded myself they no longer control me. When a client asked a difficult question, I paused briefly, then said, "I understand your concern. Here's how we'll solve it." My voice was steady, authoritative. The room nodded, impressed. After the meeting, Nathan clapped me on the back. "Ethan, you've transformed. It's impressive." I exhaled, letting a small smile slip. "Feels good. Hard work pays off." Chloe approached, holding a folder. "You were incredible today," she said quietly. "I could see your confidence radiating. You're not the same person who walked in here months ago." "Thanks," I replied. "I feel different, stronger. Like nothing can shake me anymore." Mr. Grant joined us. "You've not only grown in skill but in presence. People notice. And that notice gives you power." I tilted my head. "Power?" "Yes," he said. "You're no longer the man people pity or underestimate. You lead. You influence. You rise while others stumble." That night at home I checked my phone again. Adrian had posted yet another picture with Lena, showing off another extravagant event. In the past, I would have crumbled. But tonight I felt calm. Even victorious. I whispered, "You flaunt wealth. You flaunt happiness. But I don't need your approval anymore. I have my own life, my own success." The next day, I overheard coworkers gossiping. "Did you see Ethan today? He's completely transformed." I smirked. "I guess they're noticing," I muttered to myself. Mr. Grant appeared beside me. "They'll start comparing now. You've set a new standard." "Good," I said. "Let them see. Let Adrian see." Chloe smiled. "You've turned your pain into power. You're unstoppable." I nodded, feeling the fire inside me grow. Every memory of betrayal, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt had fueled this. I wasn't just surviving, I was leading, commanding, thriving. Later, I walked past a cafe and noticed Lena sitting with someone new. I paused, studied her for a moment. The old ache flickered, but it was faint, controlled. I realized I didn't need her approval, or Adrian's shadow looming over me. I whispered under my breath, "This is my world now." I rise. They fall behind. That night I called Mr. Grant. "I feel unstoppable," I said. "You are," he replied simply. "And you've only begun. Keep moving forward." I ended the call, staring out the window at the city lights. For the first time I felt the shift, not just in my career but in life itself. I had power now. Real power. The kind that comes from within, born from pain, forged through struggle. And nothing, not Adrian, not Lena, not anyone, could take it away. The next morning I received an unexpected email, a meeting request from Adrian. My stomach clenched. I considered ignoring it, but a small voice inside me said, "Face him. Show him who you've become." When I arrived at the cafe, Adrian was already there, sipping coffee with a smug grin. He looked up and said, "Ethan. Didn't expect to see you." "I expected you," I replied evenly, sliding into the seat opposite him. He raised an eyebrow. "Interesting. Usually you avoid me." "I've changed," I said, locking eyes with him. "And you'll see why today." He smirked. "I'm curious. Show me." I took a deep breath. "You hurt me. Betrayed my trust. Took what wasn't yours to take." He chuckled. "I didn't take anything. You let me." I leaned forward, voice steady but edged with anger. "Don't twist this. You made choices. I've spent months rebuilding, training, becoming someone you'll never break." Adrian's grin faltered slightly. "Rebuilding, huh? From what? Some petty heartbreak?" "Yes," I said, "that heartbreak lit a fire in me. You think flaunting Lena, flaunting wealth, shows strength? No. Strength comes from surviving betrayal, learning from it, and rising higher. That's me now." He scoffed. "Bold words. Let's see if you live them." I didn't flinch. "I already am. You're looking at someone who refuses to be broken again. Someone who turns pain into power." He leaned back, studying me silently. I could see his pride clash with a hint of fear. He didn't expect me to be this calm, this controlled. "You've changed," he admitted finally, his tone begrudging. "Yes," I said simply. "And it's because I decided not to be your victim. Not Lena's either. Not anyone's." He stared at me, silent for a long moment. Then he muttered, "You're stronger than I imagined." I leaned closer, lowering my voice. "I don't need your approval. I don't need her. And I don't need to fight you. You've already lost. The only thing left for me is my future, and it's mine to shape." Adrian looked away, defeated. His posture slumped, his smirk gone. I felt a strange satisfaction, a quiet victory. I didn't have to shout, hurt him, or seek revenge. The power wasn't in retaliation, it was in rising above. Chloe's words echoed in my mind, "You've turned your pain into power." I stood up, voice calm. "Goodbye, Adrian. Remember, you can't control what's already free." He watched me leave, silence hanging in the air between us. For the first time, I realized the betrayal had lost its hold over me completely. I had taken the pain, the heartbreak, and shaped it into strength. Adrian could flaunt wealth, flaunt happiness, flaunt arrogance, but he could never touch the man I had become. Outside, the sunlight hit my face, warm and liberating. I inhaled deeply, feeling every ounce of tension leave my body. "I am free," I whispered. "And this is only the beginning." I walked away, leaving the past behind, stepping into a life that was mine, built from the ashes of betrayal, stronger and more determined than ever. It was late evening when Mr. Grant called me into his office. The city lights flickered through the blinds, casting long shadows across the room. "Ethan," he said, his voice calm but serious, it's time for your ultimate test. A high-stakes client, international exposure. You lead. Alone. My stomach tightened but I straightened. I understand. I'm ready. He studied me for a moment. Ready doesn't mean confident. But you've grown. Trust yourself. Remember, pressure reveals character. I nodded, swallowing hard. I won't let you down. The next day, I entered the conference room with the client team waiting. The room felt enormous, filled with strangers who could either make or break my career. I took a deep breath and reminded myself, this is my moment. I've earned this. Good morning, I began. Thank you for having me. Today I'll walk you through our strategy step by step. Questions came fast, some sharp, some skeptical. I answered each with calm authority. Here's the solution we propose, tailored to your needs, I said. Let me explain why it works and how it ensures success. One client challenged me directly. And what if your plan fails? I didn't hesitate. Failure isn't an option. But even if obstacles arise, we've accounted for them. Here's how we adapt. I noticed Nathan observing me from the back of the room, giving a subtle nod of approval. Chloe sat beside me, her quiet presence grounding me. Halfway through, I felt a pang. Lena's image flashed in my mind, Adrian flaunting their life. I clenched my fists under the table. Not now, I told myself. You've grown too much to be shaken. Another client asked, you're confident? But why should we trust you? I smiled faintly. Because I don't just lead projects, I lead people. I've faced challenges that taught me resilience, focus, and strategy. I deliver results because I've learned to turn adversity into strength. That's what you're investing in today. By the end, the room was silent for a moment, then erupted with questions and discussions. But this time, I controlled the conversation. My points landed, my answers convinced, my confidence undeniable. Afterward, the client shook my hand, nodding in respect. One whispered, you're remarkable. I've never seen someone handle pressure like this. I exhaled, heart pounding but exhilarated. Thank you, I said quietly. Back at the office, Mr. Grant waited, arms crossed, a faint smile on his face. Well, he asked. I think I nailed it, I said, though my voice held awe at what I'd accomplished. He nodded approvingly. More than nailed it. You've proven to yourself, and everyone else, that you're unstoppable. That's the power of transforming pain into purpose. Later that night, I walked home, the city lights reflecting in my eyes. For the first time, I felt complete control over my life. Adrian, Lena, betrayal, heartbreak. They were memories now, not chains. I whispered to myself, I've passed my ultimate test. And I'm just getting started. The fire inside me burned brighter than ever. The lessons, the struggle, the sleepless nights, they had shaped me into someone no one could underestimate. I was free. I was powerful. And nothing could stop me now. The morning felt electric. I walked into the office with a purpose sharper than ever. Every glance, every word, every step reminded me of how far I'd come. Today I wasn't just leading, I was reclaiming everything that had been taken from me. Ethan, Mr. Grant greeted me, the board wants to see your presentation. They've heard about your work. This is your moment. I nodded, my chest tight with anticipation. I won't disappoint. Chloe approached, handing me a folder. You've got this. Just breathe and trust yourself. I took a deep breath. Thanks, Chloe. I couldn't have done any of this without you. The boardroom was silent as I entered. Faces I didn't know, judgments I couldn't escape, yet I felt calm. I set the folder down and began. Good morning. Today, I present a strategy that will not only elevate our company but redefine how we operate in the market. Questions came immediately, sharp and intimidating. How do you handle risk? One asked. I met their eyes. I embrace it. Every risk carries potential, and every challenge I've faced has prepared me to make calculated, decisive choices. A board member leaned forward. Your confidence is remarkable, but are you ready for the responsibility? I smiled faintly, feeling the fire inside. I've faced personal betrayals that tested everything I believed about myself. I've built strength from heartbreak and focus from pain. Responsibility doesn't scare me, it motivates me. After the presentation, the silence in the room was palpable. Then, one by one, the members nodded and whispered among themselves. The head of the board finally said, Ethan, your vision is clear. Your leadership is proven. We're on board. I exhaled, a smile spreading across my face. Months of struggle, sleepless nights, and relentless effort had led to this moment. I had reclaimed control, not just of my career but of my life. Later, in the elevator, Nathan leaned against the wall. You did it. You're unstoppable now. I feel it, I admitted. For the first time, I'm not just surviving. I'm thriving. Chloe appeared beside me, smiling warmly. I knew you'd get here. You had to believe in yourself first. I looked at her, feeling a surge of gratitude. I did. And now nothing can hold me back. Not betrayal, not heartbreak, not anyone. That evening, walking past the cafe, I saw Lena and Adrian again. Their smiles, their wealth, their facade of happiness, it didn't touch me. I whispered, I'm above this now. I've built myself stronger than you could ever imagine. I felt no anger, no longing, only clarity and triumph. Every step I took, every project I led, every relationship I nurtured was mine to define. I was no longer defined by their actions, by past pain, or by mistakes that once haunted me. At home, I called Mr. Grant. It's done, I said, voice steady, prideful. I've taken control. I've reclaimed my life. Excellent, he replied. Now, remember, Ethan, true power comes not just from success, but from the person you've become while achieving it. I leaned back, letting the city lights wash over me. I was a new man, stronger, wiser, and untouchable. The fire of betrayal had been transformed into a force that no one could challenge. And as I whispered to myself, this is only the beginning, I knew it was true. The past was behind me. The future was mine. And nothing, not Lena, Adrian, or anyone, could ever take it away. The next morning, I woke with a calm I hadn't felt in years. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the sleepless nights, they were no longer chains. I stretched, feeling the weight of the past finally lift. Chloe appeared at my door with a warm smile. Morning, Ethan. Ready to tackle the day? I grinned. More than ever. Feels different. Lighter. She handed me a coffee. You've earned this calm. And soon you'll see just how far you've come. I nodded, thinking back on the journey, from Lena's lies to Adrian's arrogance, from despair to determination. Every step had forged me into someone new, someone unshakable. Later at the office, Nathan greeted me. Big client signed today. Your strategy worked perfectly. Everyone's impressed. I exhaled. It feels surreal. Months ago I was broken, lost, now this. He clapped me on the shoulder. It's proof. Strength comes from surviving the worst. You've not just survived, you've thrived. Mr. Grant appeared beside us. Ethan, remember this moment. The fire you felt in your worst days, it's what shaped you into the leader you are now. Use it wisely. I will, I promised. That evening, walking home, I passed the cafe where I once saw Lena and Adrian. I paused, letting the memory wash over me, but it held no sting. I whispered to myself, the past doesn't define me. I've chosen my path, my life. Chloe's voice rang in my mind, you've turned your pain into power. At home, I called Maya. I just wanted to thank you, I said, voice soft but firm. For being there when I had nothing, for believing I could rise. I finally understand, I'm not the same man who broke that day. She laughed warmly. I always knew you'd make it. You just had to see it for yourself. I smiled, feeling a weight lift. I did. And I'm ready for everything the future holds. Later, alone on my balcony, I looked at the city lights, feeling a sense of peace I never imagined. No resentment, no longing, only clarity. I had reclaimed my life, my confidence, and my dignity. I whispered, this is my world now. My rules. My choices. My strength. For the first time in years, sleep came easily. Dreams weren't haunted by betrayal, they were filled with possibility. Tomorrow I would step into another day of challenges, victories, and growth. But tonight I celebrated the man I had become. The fire that once threatened to consume me now burned as a guiding light. And as I closed my eyes, I knew this. The past had shaped me, but it did not control me. The pain had ended, the betrayal was behind me, and the future, bright, limitless, mine, awaited.